Hello, everyone. This is Mary Curick of Frontrunners Innovate. So welcome to another episode, another interview with someone who is changing the world in their own way. And so we like to bring to you people from all over the world who are creating solutions in unique and different ways, and given whatever cultures and places, that geographic places they may be in the world. And today we have Lindelwa Kunene. And Lindelwa is he is a private business director. He is also a global goodwill ambassador and works heavily in the green space, which is so hot right now. We do a lot of talking with people in that space. He is from Eswatini. I don't know if I said that correctly, but first thing I'm going to have you do, Lindelwa, is tell us where you're located so that people can get a vision of where you are. And then we'll talk about your path to the work that you're doing. So Lindelwa, you have the floor.
Thank you for having me, Mary. My name is Lindelwa Kunene. As you have introduced me, I'm from the Kingdom of Eswatini. Yes, I'm a global goodwill ambassador. I'm a social entrepreneur, so to say. I consider myself a social entrepreneur. A lot of what I do is centered around greening the future. So I also consider myself a climate activist for that nature. Great. So coming to what motivates me maybe to be a green entrepreneur or a social entrepreneur, so to say, are the challenges that we face as a community, or challenges that are faced by our communities that we live in. In my part of the world, we are facing a problem of waste which you see everywhere. So that's what I want to bring a solution on.
So tell us about the problem a little more. You said that, I think you said waste, that's a real problem there. Tell us a little bit about that.
If you come to most of the cities in our part of the world, you will see the improper disposal of waste, mm-hmm. which has a negative impact on tourism, so to say. And you would also see that our dam sites are not well managed, just like your European dam site, which you find, you call them engineered landfills. But when you come into Africa, you'll find an open dam which is not managed properly. We know that those open dams tends to be breeding spaces for diseases such as your cholera, so mm-hmm. to say. It also has a negative impact on the environment as a whole, because mm-hmm. you'll understand that an uncontrolled dump tends to produce methane. That methane then depletes our ozone layer and causes global warming, which is now a problem, as we are mm-hmm. trying by all means to fight climate change. But with what we have at the moment, it's impossible. It's just totally impossible to fight climate change, because we are not controlling the breeding space of mm-hmm. those causes of climate change.
So give us a snapshot of where you're located in the world. Give us the map of Africa and where you are in that vision, and then share a little bit about the culture and the city that you're in, so that we have an idea of how big it is, how small it is, what's it made up of in terms of, counties or villages or whatever. Give us a little idea of that, if you will.
All right, man. I'm located in the Kingdom of Eswatini. To be specific, I'm at the capital city, which is Mbabane. Then you will understand we are in the Southern Africa. So mm-hmm. I think most of you are familiar with a country called South Africa. Mm-hmm. So we are in between. We are a landlocked country in between South Africa and Mozambique, which is a kingdom, because we are ruled by a monarchy. So we have the king in power. Yes.
Okay.
So we are also deeply rooted in the culture of Amaswati, which are the people of Eswatini. Mm-hmm. So we normally host national, events from time to time, so to celebrate who we are as Africans, and mm-hmm. so to say.
That's yeah.
I think I've covered.
Give us an idea of how big it is.
Oh, it's a small country. a small country because we have a population of 1.2 or 1.3 million.
Okay.
From the recent statistics, I think they recorded around 1.3 million.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you have come into the business of helping other businesses from an investment standpoint and business coaching standpoint on how to become a green or green certified business, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Tell us how that works. Tell us how you work with businesses.
So as a social entrepreneur, let me take you back how I started this business of this idea of helping other businesses green or their systems. And then in the year 2019, I got a consulting job in Zimbabwe, country just next to South Africa as well. So that's where I was introduced because I got to be trained by International Labour Organization on green entrepreneurship. And then they introduced the concept of green businesses. So I then saw an opportunity because in my country, most businesses were not certified as green. Their processes were not green, so to say. So I saw an opportunity to get into that space so that I can help them become green, because you then understand that our countries have committed to an agenda whereby they are saying they want a carbon free and a climate resilient future. But that climate free and a carbon resilient future is not possible if our businesses, if our communities are not committed to climate change mitigation. So then I saw an opportunity to invest within that niche so that I can help those businesses to call themselves green business.
I love that. So when you're working with businesses, is it a matter of helping them understand how better to deal with waste disposal? Is it about recycling types of things? Tell us a little bit more.
So it's not only about recycling. You will then understand that businesses, some of them, they don't have even the systems to manage the waste. They don't have the equipment to manage the waste. So this is how we then come in. We come in with first by helping them by designing for them systems to manage their waste. So to say we can design a two bin or 3 bin system based on what is suitable for a company. Then we can we also help them set up material recovery facilities. That is where they are able to do their recycling. So to say, company A or company B can then be able to produce or help them come up with a waste audit from time to time to be able to say, we produce this much of waste, but from time to time we are able to recycle this much. And then maybe this small portion then goes to landfills. This is how they then claim that they are offsetting their carbon footprints, so to say.
Okay. Do you connect them to resources that might help them with the recycling of materials, whether that be like glass or metals, something like that? And is there a benefit financially to them doing something like that, like tax breaks or maybe some money back from pushing their metal waste into a plant that can recycle it and use it?
Yes, there is, because you understand that these companies normally hire other companies. They would hire or subcontract companies that are doing a cleaning and waste management. So they will charge them a lot of money to carry that service for them. But then if you chip in and coming with a system that is able to then manage waste from generation to maybe from generation to a point whereby we are sending them to recyclers, it helps them reduce costs in a way, because they are able then to sell their waste, not only to dispose, because you'll find that some of them pay to dispose their waste at some of the landfills, but now they are sending a small portion, and then maybe some of those costs to send that small portion is covered by what is recycled, because recyclers can then buy that waste from them.
Got you. So does the government support these types of programs and giving a nod or an accolade or some kind of, benefit to businesses who are sort of green certified?
I can't lie and say they are supporting such businesses for now, because they are still not understanding.
That's your job,
So-
right? Make them understand.
Not understanding what we are doing, even though maybe they've committed to say they want a carbon-free and climate-resilient future, but they don't have a plan in hand. You understand that governments deal with policies. They will then come and defend themselves and say, this is not part of our policy for now. Maybe we'll consider it in the future. But for now, we can't say we can fund this kind of business because we don't understand how you operate.
Yeah, I think sometimes it has to be seen as a benefit. For instance, if they see that by creating a policy that would push businesses to be more green friendly, they then adhere to some SDGs from the United Nations and therefore position themselves to maybe get grants down the road better than if they didn't do that. So I think it's just a mindset situation where it's a learning and relearning and educating situation. I think you understand that better than anybody for sure. But so do you work with companies outside of your area?
Yes, I do. I work with an organization called the Zimbabwe Sunshine Group.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I also work with another company in South Africa called Yako Resources.
Wow. Okay.
So those are the companies for now that I have, which are also. Oh, I also have another one in Malawi.
Malawi. Yeah.
Malawi. Yes.
Okay.
So those are the companies that we normally share experiences, share knowledge with from time to time, because you will understand that what we are doing is part of citizen science. So people can then share indigenous, not only business or business management skills from time to time, but we are able then to share indigenous knowledge, so to help our communities become more greener or cleaner.
You are a gem. I hope you stay right where you're at, because I have a feeling they need you there. So this is great. So tell us about Global Goodwill Ambassadorship, because you are one. So tell us a little bit about how that came about for you.
Global Goodwill Ambassador is a community of practice for entrepreneurs, for community change agents like myself.
Mm-hmm.
So our area of focus is humanitarian, but then we also, because you can't do humanitarian and not touch other problems affecting community.
Yes. Yes.
So that's when we then cover the whole spectrum of those challenges that communities face from time to time. So our work covers, or we have membership in different countries. I think there are more than 150 countries now.
Yeah, I've been seeing a little bit here and there, and I've interviewed a few.
Yes, but the organization is headquartered in the US.
Yes.
It was started by Mr. Richard DePilla.
Yeah.
I think is in California.
It's a good effort. It really is. I interviewed a gal in Kenya that is working on education and youth development, who's tied in with that organization too. So it's interesting that it really hits all the SDGs and then some, and that's kind of like us. We follow the United Nations SDGs in terms of the types of impact that we like to see out there in spotlight, but we even dig a little deeper and get into, like say human trafficking issues and diabetes, which before this pandemic came along, that was the epidemic that's out there and still is. But, we kind of take a deep dive every now and again and get into some side issues and that kind of thing to kind of bring innovation and solutions to light. So what you're doing is fantastic. Where do you see this going for you? Where would you like it to go, your work?
I see this. To me, this is how I'll build my own empire. This is how I would live and mark on planet Earth. People to remember that I once lived and made a mark in my community, because I have better plans in place to help our communities, to help my country, because I can see that on their policies, they are slow in pushing this agenda. So with my skills, with my capabilities to mobilize communities, I guess I can help them meet their goals, and also help them achieve the sustainable development, more especially those that are connected to climate issues, and those that are connected to job creation as a whole.
I think that anybody in any area, in your particular area, if you're the standout person that is vocal about greening the planet and working with businesses to become more green, and then also advocating and promoting governments to create policies that will help citizens and businesses to be green easier, then I think that you found your niche. And I think that it's really important that you continue doing that. And I also think that in your area, you could create a movement of such. And I think the thing that I have learned in those types of, when I talk to people about movements that they've created, is just getting that momentum rolling with the right people on your team and right partners, and then right benefits or rewards, if you will. It has to be clear. People have to see whatever the reward or the benefit is. And while you'd like to think most people have a greater good heart about things, a lot of people are just more self-centered than that. And so it's either dangling the carrot of saying this is the benefit you get from doing this, or you got the switch behind them saying, if you don't, you're gonna get taxed for dumping your garbage in the wrong place or burying it when you shouldn't. So I do know other countries are in that situation where people, instead of paying the exorbitant amounts of money that it takes to get trash picked up and taken to a legitimate facility, they'll just bury it somewhere. And so that is against the law in some places, and they are, they're assessed quite a heavy fee for, doing that. So I think that, I don't know how it is where you are, but finding ways to either dangle the carrot or show the switch of, if you don't, this is what's coming down the road. I don't know that government's prepared to do that where you are, but it is happening in other places. But I'll tell you something interesting that I found out from another country. And this is, I think it's in Indonesia somewhere, that they figured out, because the mass transit is important where they are. So so they're everywhere, they're going on buses, right? So in order to, if they will bring one bag of recycled trash and put it in one of the facilities around the city, then they will be issued a ticket for a free ride on the bus. So
I think they're also doing that.
That's a carrot right there. That's a big carrot, So
I think I also saw this a similar model in Sweden. They are doing it in Sweden. Yes, between Stockholm and
they're very good at being forward about that. They like to be clean. It was really funny because I had a conversation with an investor out of Sweden early last year, before the pandemic really got rolling. I mean, we were in pandemic, but it was before it really kind of took a hold. And she said, we don't have a problem with it around here. And I'm thinking, I wonder why that is. She said, we've never had any kind of problem with lockdowns in the past or whatever. And I think it's because they practice good sanitation habits anyway. That's just part of who they are. That's their culture. And that's kind of what she led me to believe, is it's just everything is, very lean and clean, and it's just part of their overall lifestyle. So, you know, conversely, I've talked to a gentleman from Vietnam who said, we've always worn masks out. So, you know, this is nothing new for us, but, you know, it's different cultures who do different things to handle whatever they have going on. But what you're talking about could end up with the disease control and things like that is eliminating public disease. So it's a public health situation that you're talking about. And so other than unsightly waste, you're talking about, you know, rats and snakes and, you know, creatures that come out to eat the waste that's there, and then bugs. And then you talk about sanitation problems. You know, it gets to be real for people. It really gets to be real. So I applaud you for all the efforts that you're doing. We're going to drop into this YouTube. We're doing audio with Lindelwa today because he's in a place where connectivity is a problem, and sometimes putting video on is difficult there, but we've had really good audio. So we're really proud of that today. We're going to drop in links where you can hook up with him on LinkedIn and also website in the description of this YouTube. If you're seeing this on Frontrunners Innovate, we'll have all that below the interview. So look for that if you want to connect up with him. We do know that there are other countries in Africa who have really interesting and creative ways to deal with waste control that might want to reach out to you. I've got one in my mind from Zambia, Lindelwa, that we would maybe like to hook up with you to get some conversation going and seeing, you know, where things go there. But so thank you so much for all that you're doing. Let us know how we can be of help to you and what types of people that you want to put in front of your face to communicate with and get the word out. Does anybody pop into mind? Any type of individual pop into your mind that you'd like to meet?
Not really. I'm open to speak to anyone, because if that person is going to speak to me on green issues, I think I'm open for a discussion.
Other people who work with businesses on green issues.
Expect this group of people to reach me out.
Okay.
But anyone interested, even to share ideas, to work with, to maybe to invest in what I'm doing, I think I'm ready for a discussion.
All right. Well, I feel like there should be a pilot program coming from you soon on how people can interact and do some good there. So I feel like you've got more coming. So we're going to stay tuned about you and see where you go and how we can be of some service to you. So thank you for sharing your story. We'll have this out soon and everybody can have a chance to interact. And we appreciate it again. Thank you, Lindelwa, for your time today.
Pleasure on mine, Mary.
All right. Well, come visit us at www.frontrunnersinnovate.com to see this interview and more. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.